Hello, YouTube. In a previous segment, you might have seen me updating the RV kitchen, trying to get the kitchen operational, and also you probably saw the dining table with aluminum foil over it. That was this dining table that I have just made. And what had happened was the old table was made of that pressed wood scraps, the like sawdust almost, and they glue it together, which is apparently how they build a lot of the countertops and stuff here in kitchens as well as the RV. I don't know why you would do that other than cheapness, because when that stuff gets wet, it puffs up and is ruined. So I decided to use real wood, even though I couldn't afford a solid sheet. I did get I don't know if it's pine, but they cut it into strips. It's the same wood that I use for the counters and stuff in Little Blue too. So I got that, and I used the old table to cut a pattern, and pretty much got some side beams here and kind of reproduced what was previously that cheap sawdust pressed wood. So what we're going to do today is just sand it down a little bit using the I guess that's an electric sander, because you can see my cuts along the edge here, especially where I had to do curves and stuff, was a little bit rough. I have a little jigsaw that I was using. So we're going to smooth it down a little bit. Then we are just going to spray it with this Min-Max fast drying polyurethane. And this is like a polyurethane clear gloss coating. Hopefully it'll protect the unit with plastic, and that should kind of make it waterproof so that when you set water and stuff on it or spill any food or water, it doesn't seep in and ruin your tabletop. At least that's the plan. I decided to get the spray can instead of the brush on kind because I didn't want to deal with the brush and then having a big glob. I figured spraying a little bit of coating on it a little bit at a time would be better. It is a bit moist out here, a little bit humid, so it may take a while for it to dry. Sadly, you got to work with the weather and also the time that's allocated. This stuff takes, it says it takes, I think I read it before, it says you're supposed to shake it for 2 minutes, rigorously shake it for 2 minutes and 10 seconds occasionally during the use. You're supposed to hold it 12 inches from the surface and spray it, overlapping strokes. You're supposed to let it dry and then do it again in 2 hours. And then you're supposed to wait. It says if you're not able to do it within 2 hours, you have to sand it. Wait a minimum of 72 hours, then lightly sand and recoat. I'm hoping to do it all at once. So that means I got to do it, and 2 hours later, do it again. And they want at least 3 coats. So that's at least 6 hours of this. And then you're supposed to let it sit 24 hours before you use it. So the only way I could really do this was like on a weekend, which is why it's taking so long. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and try to sand it down and get this process started. So obviously I can't sand and work, and I don't want to set up a tripod or anything out here and get all fancy with the neighbors and the maintenance people coming by and giving me a hassle. So we're just going to go ahead and sand it. I'm just going to use the electric sander and then show you after I sand the unit down. So I basically have been sanding the edges. It's like not perfect. And remember, we're not going for perfection. We are just going good enough to try to make it smooth. I did hear the turn this off here. I'm having a hard time turning things off one-handed here, but I did hear thunder in the distance, or lightning. Well, thunder actually. I heard thunder. Lightning hits. Thunder is what you hear. So I did manage to get most of the rough edges down, but I am going to do a quick coat because the sky overhead is about to let loose. So it's going to pour rain today, I think. It means I got to spray this, and sadly it may take a very long time to dry. I'm going to spray it and try to put it inside the RV and try to find a spot for it to dry somewhere. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and spray the coating. I am going to concentrate mostly on the top, not the bottom. This is the bottom of the unit. So it flips over, and we'll do the top first and then do the bottom later. We'll try to do several coating on top. I figure out where I can spray it. That's not going to cause too much problems. Maybe on one of my chairs or something. All right, we'll see what happens. Alright, we're shaking up the can. You're supposed to do it for 2 minutes. That seems to me a little excessive. I don't know if you can stand it for 2 minutes and shake. Alright. Here goes nothing. So we are just going to go across, try to get this coating evenly on everything. I am trying to beat the rain because the sky has been rumbling. Once this coating's on here, I'll feel a lot better. Shaking it as we're using it. I can see where I didn't even have coverage on it. And this stuff's like falling all over my hands. It's coming out. It was like stuck, and now it's coming out in... Before it was coming out like a mist, and now it's coming out like a stream. Maybe getting the sprayer kind might have been better. It's making a noise here. I hope I'm not breathing this stuff in. I think the top is probably the most important part of coating it. And we're going to try to do the edges because we don't want the fluid soaking through. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm going to try to do the sides here. A little bit of protection at least. It's got more protection than it had a few minutes ago, that's for sure. So what we're doing is spraying this clear coat on here. Now I gotta do the bottom. This is kind of a little bit hard here. So hopefully we can get this. I'm not too worried about hitting the metal with it as long as it doesn't fuse into place. Remember, we're not going for perfection here. We need it to be good enough. Alright. How does that look? We should do the back side too. I think we'll do the back side, and I know the instructions say 2 hours, but I don't have 2 hours. If I wait 2 hours, I suspect it's going to pour rain out here. Okay, this is going to be bad if it leans against the table. Let me pause the camera and try to deal with this. I decided to risk it falling down by just having it lean using this metal, the little brace thingy, so I can get up under here and try to spray just a little underneath. What we want to do is protect this edge especially. That's where liquid will come in. If it spills, it's going to roll off and come over to the edge. So we get another, especially under here. This polyurethane stuff is starting to run out, believe it or not. I guess it doesn't do that much coating. Alright, we're going to do the back side real quick. I might not even have enough to do the second coating. Alright. Here we go. We're going all nuts so now on the pattern. We're just going to try to coat it. Alright, so we did the back. We're going to go through the front again. Let's do the back again. I think we did the whole back. Now we're going to try to do the front again. This whole thing's running out, so I'm just going to go ahead and complete the whole can and then call it done and let it dry. I know, you guys are saying you're not following any directions, you know. I have a habit of not following directions. And people say, well, then the results are going to come out all bad. You're going to blame it on the product. Yeah, kinda. I keep telling myself my motto. My motto is not to worry so much about getting it perfect. We just need to get it done. We just need it good enough. Good enough to use. Good enough to be done. And we can actually go on to other projects. Because there's 5 million projects to work on. I still gotta do the look at this stuff. I got it all over my hand. I'm getting coated with polyurethane. I still have to work on the bathroom floor. That's an issue. And really giving serious thought to cutting the floor out, even though I don't want to do that, but I may have to. I most likely will be doing that. Only trying to cut a little spot because I don't want to do more. I don't want to cut out more than I have to because there's a chance I can cause more damage. You know, hit a pipe or something and really rupture it. Then I'm in serious trouble. So I only want to do as large a hole as I need to cut. Like this polyurethane, I am just going to go ahead and do one more spray through while it's running out here and kind of letting it dry before it rains. Hopefully I can get it in before it rains. The sky's about to let loose. I know I won't be able to do this again later, so we're trying to get it done now and go ahead and use up the whole can so that we can just say this is done. And hopefully it won't be too bad. The main thing is just putting plastic or polyurethane here on the table itself so that it's somewhat waterproof, liquid proof, and we can have an actual table that we can start to use again. We had a table that we could use again before, but we just had aluminum foil on it. It looked pretty tacky, and I don't really like having stuff sit on aluminum foil as a dining table. I know some of you are saying, well, you could get a table cover, and yeah, I could, but that's just not something I did right now. May in the future get a table cover, but I don't know. I kind of like the table without the table cover. It's easier to see everything. Alright, I think we have used up the polyurethane. So at this point, I think things are done. There's no more spray coming out. I think that's rain. That was. I don't know if that was rain or what that fell. I hope not. Alright, so I think we've got this now. I think we're going to be alright. We are done. Now it's just a matter of letting it dry and installing it and showing you what we've got. So stay tuned.